Hello, Lane here. Thanks for calling me back for another round of Wikipedia classes. I'm going to talk for a few minutes to review what we did in the last class series, and then I'm going to say something about what's going to happen in this class series. So, when last we met, we had 4 classes. In the first class, we talked about the philosophy or the reason why anyone might want to edit Wikipedia. And in summary, what I said to you was that Wikipedia is an interesting place to contribute information because when you publish there, as compared to elsewhere on the internet, you can predict the audience that's going to read and access the content that you submit before you do it, because Wikipedia makes public its traffic metrics. And moreover, when you contribute to Wikipedia, it's likely that areas in which people are already discussing in other media channels, they're converging onto Wikipedia to get information, basic reference information about that same topic. And so by publishing on Wikipedia, you can reach a greater audience that you can in many other communication channels, and also with less preparation than, say, setting up your own website or blog or going into social media. In the second class, I presented the basics of Wikipedia editing, and you all that participated in the classes, you edited Wikipedia. The summary of what I did in that class was to say that Wikipedia has a quality control process, and if anyone submits content to Wikipedia, then after the content they submit, they should also have a citation to the source from which they got the content, so that the people who are checking Wikipedia, they can make sure that the fact that anyone's added to Wikipedia matches the information in the source from which it came. And actually people will be checking this on Wikipedia. In the third talk in the last series, I reviewed how to ask questions on Wikipedia. In contrast to most other popular internet websites, with Wikipedia, people spend a lot of time talking with strangers and interacting with people they don't know. And also Wikipedia, it's confusing in a lot of ways. It's confusing technically because the technical infrastructure isn't very well developed because it's a non-profit website. And it's also confusing socially because Wikipedia attempts to cover all information in the world. It takes some input from so many different people to sort out how this ought to be. There's specialized rules in so many different areas that even though there's extensive help and reference guides available for using Wikipedia, very often the fastest way to learn something is to talk to someone who's active in that area. And there's large numbers of people who are at hand on Wikipedia to answer all kinds of specialized questions at any time. So in that talk, I gave you all a tour of where to go on Wikipedia to ask any kind of question, including where you go to ask questions about where to ask questions. That is, where's the help directory? I said a good place to go might be the Wikipedia Tea House as a forum for answering questions. In the last talk, I gave you all a tour of Wikimedia projects. So Wikipedia is an encyclopedia. It's a project that's stewarded by the Wikimedia Foundation, which is a non-profit organization overseeing everything. Some of the other related projects are Wiktionary, a dictionary that's user-generated, much in the same way that anyone can edit Wikipedia. Wikimedia Commons, which is a non-text media repository. Any pictures that you see on Wikipedia are actually stored and processed in Wikipedia Commons, as are video, audio, even documents. Documents might be uploaded as PDF to Wikimedia Commons, and then they could be converted to plain text in something called Wikisource, which is our document repository. So, for example, if you wanted to see an original copy of the U.S. Constitution, or a scan, you could go to Wikimedia Commons and see that. But since that's handwritten and perhaps difficult to read, if you wanted to read plain text of it, you could go to Wikisource and see it typed out digitally. So those kinds of things are stored there. And then there's other things that are less accessible, like Wikidata, which is a database, facts, figures, numbers, things that translate well into other languages. Like, for example, in Wikidata, We're trying to get the date of birth and the date of death for every person whose biography is featured on Wikipedia, because that's something that we don't necessarily need to translate into every language for Wikipedia. If we figure it out for one language, then we can propagate that information so that it's automatically translated, whether someone's reading Wikipedia in English, Spanish, Korean, Bangla, any other language that we cover. So in this class series, all of you, everyone who's in this class participated in the last class series. And so I don't need to cover the basics again, although you can ask questions as you like. We're going to consider this to be an advanced beginner class, because I know that all of you have edited Wikipedia. I've commented a bit on something that every one of you have done. So in the first class, what's going to be covered is I'm going to take you on a tour of a Wikipedia article, and we're going to call this the anatomy of a Wikipedia article. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to point at some things that I think are interesting about Wikipedia articles and that give me insight on how I can interact with it. So a tour of a single Wikipedia article. In week 2, I'm going to be talking about Wiki Links, which are links between articles within Wikipedia. So when you click on a link in a Wikipedia article, it takes you to another one. I'm going to talk about how if you have wiki links between an article, it's useful not just to think about the article you're editing, but also the articles that might be closely related to the article that you're editing, and might potentially duplicate information. Or perhaps it might be a place where you could look to see if something you're interested in has already been covered. You might want to copy it back to the article on which you're trying to develop. In the third class, I'm going to talk about mediating controversy. Supposing there's 2 or more people in a given Wikipedia article and they come into conflict or have differing opinions about how a Wikipedia article ought to present some kind of fact or information or perspective. Under what circumstances would they seek third opinions or additional opinions to resolve whatever conflict they might have? And how does that come about? Supposing people are in conflict, how do you keep it from escalating on Wikipedia and make for a friendly editing environment? There's so many controls over this on Wikipedia, and much in the same way that in the last series I showed you all how to ask any question in Wikipedia, one of the most frequent questions that gets asked by people who are editing is, how do I resolve this difference with another person? I'm going to present the different ways and systems and resources that are available to get another person to come in to any dispute, mediate it, find resolution there. And then the last talk, by this time, so during the course of the class, I'm going to ask you to edit Wikipedia articles of your choosing as you like. And towards the end of the class, I'm going to give a review of metrics and impact. So we talked about this a little bit in the follow-up to the last series, but here live in the class I'm going to show metrics about a Wikipedia article, look at the ones that you in the class have edited, show you how many people have read them, and go into more detail about how many people reviewed it, under what circumstances did they review it, what kind of discussion came up as a result of what you did, and what's the likely response to the content you added over the next year in terms of who's likely to come and edit it based on the historical precedent and how many people are likely to read it. So that's my introduction to the syllabus. I'm going to make individual videos for the different lessons in the class too. Thanks so much for joining me. So glad to have you back.